Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live. This is number one blogger in the studios with my guest host, El Selector, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty when it comes to Ghana versus Uruguay. I know you guys definitely want a preview before this match, and I got to give it to our fans because if I don't, it definitely doesn't make sense. But you guys are going to definitely hear from El Selector real soon. Just give us about 2.5 seconds. And, we're going to get into the nitty gritty. And trust me, there's going to be a lot of information. So you guys sit back and we're going to have the countdown. And yes, we're going to get back to this. And yes, we're back in the studio. Ghana versus Uruguay preview. 2022 World Cup match on Friday. It will be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Qatar. El Selector, how you doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm good still, honestly. Thank you for having me first and foremost. Yeah, I'm here, just getting ready for the big match tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
So that being said, the big match tomorrow is Ghana versus Uruguay. Do you have any highlights or maybe what do you remember from the last game? And first of all, when we talk about the last game, we're talking about 12 years ago, 2010 World Cup in South Africa. What recollections do you have of that match?
Yo, I remember that. It was actually they were in the final eight there, and it was a big matchup actually. Ghana just disposed the United States, and they went on to go into the round of 16. They were able to go into the round of eight, and that's where they were able to see Uruguay. So I was kind of looking forward to that match. It was a very it's one of the matches that people talk about till this day. Very controversial match, to say the least. You know what I mean? There was just a lot of it was an up and down game. It was very back and forth, and definitely Ghana came out and they showed up, but Uruguay definitely did. They went out there and they were able to prevail when it was all said and done. So it was one of those matches that everybody remembers. Very controversial, the handball situation that occurred in that match as well. That has people still talking about it till this day. So it was one of those matchups, and then it's kind of like 12 years later. You see what I'm saying? We're in Qatar and now we're in a matchup of the ages where it's basically winner goes on, loser goes home. You know what I
So
mean? So,
that being said, let me stop you there. For those of you that are not aware, in terms of the standings right now, Ghana is in Group H. Portugal got that controversial win over the Ghana national team. And as right now we stand, Portugal leads the group with 6 points. Ghana is in second with 3 points, and South Korea and Uruguay are third and fourth, respectively, with 1 point. And that being said, um, how do you feel about the Ghana national team's performance thus far at this
um,
Cup, being ranked 61st as the last country coming into this?
yeah, I think honestly their performance so far has been pretty impressive. They have showed a lot of they've showed a lot of technique. They're a very skilled team. You could see the skill set in this team here. They are they're very team oriented. So there's no real one player that prevails. It's kind of like a team effort. I think overall they have been performing at a very high level. I think they're really good. Of course, there is a lot of goals. We have to be pros and cons, right? So there are a lot of goals they have given up, unfortunately. But as
They're
far as them as
leaking a
a team,
lot. That's true.
yes, exactly. As far as the team goes, though, they are very tactical. I think they're a very impressive team, to say the least.
That being said, talking about what L Selector is referring to is this is the first time you could definitely see that Ghana has a very fiery offense. Case in point, Ghana has scored 5 goals in 2 games of the World Cup, but unfortunately, they've also conceded 5. That being said, the talking about the very leaky defense, that's something that they definitely have to get better going forward. And yes, Uruguay hasn't scored in this World Cup, but your best bet is definitely to shut down the offense so your offense can operate, because realistically, all Ghana needs is a tie or a win to qualify for the next round, seeing as Portugal has already qualified for the next round. But interestingly enough, if South Korea happens to win this game, they go on 4 points. So the best thing for Ghana to do is that they win out, because at least if they win out, they have a chance to finish first in this group. I'll selector, um, take us into you know that situation, as in Ghana having the possibility of finishing first if South Korea ends up winning their match and Ghana wins their match, because they would be on level points with Portugal.
Yeah, honestly, if Ghana was able to get first place, I think it would be good. Of course, they would have an easier, they would have an easier opponent in the round of 16. I believe they would be playing, if I'm not mistaken, to be Switzerland, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, so
because Brazil has the upper hand in that same group.
exactly. So, and we already have played Brazil. If you go back in retrospect in 2006, and you go look at go do your, the tail of the tape. Well, you can go back and look at your
The most
classics there.
recent friendly,
Well, the most recent, but 2016 they did play each other in the World Cup, right? And in the round of 16, and Brazil got the best of Ghana.
yeah,
It was,
206.
yeah, it wasn't very competitive at all. And remember, at the same time, Ghana was very young. They never seen that kind of firepower before. It was a tough matchup for them. So stylistically, styles make matches. I think Ghana, if they play Brazil, I think it would be a very intriguing match. I think the Brazilians would be up for it. They would be interested in that match. I think a lot of people would be intrigued by that match just because the styles of the way they play.
Mhm.
And you could still see some similarities, but then there's a lot of similarities, but then there's a lot of differences as well between the two of them. So it'd be an interesting match if they play Brazil and they were in second. But if they come in first, they play Switzerland. I'm not too sure exactly how the Switzerland looks, just because I haven't really been able to watch them. I don't know
Mhm.
how they would match up against Switzerland, but it would be a intriguing match. I would be interested in that. I think it would be great for Ghana. That'd be the first time that they'd make history. They would win their division outright, which is good for Ghana. I think that would be great. And they could play Switzerland. That would be Portugal. I would love to see Portugal versus Brazil in a thing. I think that'd be classic because you already know the heritage behind the Portuguese and the Brazilian there, the
Mhm.
Brazilians there. So that would be a great matchup to watch. I think those are some good matchups there. But like I said, Ghana playing Switzerland would be very intriguing. It would make history, and I think it would be great for the people out there in Ghana there in Accra and Kumasi and Sunyani and the Volta region and all along Ghana and all the Ghanaians around the world. You see what I'm saying? So it'd
Mhm.
be a monumental thing for the Ghanaian national team if they were able to accomplish that.
That being said, coming into the World Cup, the Ghana national team, as in the Black Stars, had 3 friendlies. And those 3 friendlies actually consisted of, they faced Brazil, lost 3-0 to Brazil. They beat Nicaragua 1-0. The goal was scored by Fatau Isakau, who used to play in the Ghana Premier League for Dreams FC, now plays, I believe, in Portugal for Sporting Portugal. And if that the one more matchup they actually had was against Switzerland, where they beat Switzerland 3-2, where Mohamed Salisu scored 1 goal, and the other goal came from Antoine Semenyo. So definitely, you can tell that the Ghana Black Stars have quality in um, in the offense. But that being said, let us let us go through the players a bit. In terms of scoring, actually, for the Ghana national team, remember I did comment that the Ghana national team has scored 5 goals. And so far, 2 goals, actually, 3 goals have been scored by Mohamed Kudus. And Mohamed Kudus has gotten a lot of attention at this World Cup just for the way he's been able to assist goals and also score goals. In the Portugal game, Dede Ayew did score the first goal. In the and then Osman Bukhari also came in and scored. He also plays with Red Star Belgrade. My apologies, Mohamed Kudus only has 2 goals. He did score 2 goals in the game against South Korea. And then who else scored in that South Korea game that I'm trying to remember? 2 goals scored by Mohamed Kudus, and then there was also one more goal that was scored. I only if I could remember, but yes, there was definitely a lot of goals scored by Ghana, and that's definitely important. Who do you think on the Ghana national team should definitely step up in this game to score some goals?
I think it's a team effort. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really like trying to force anyone to force their game, right? Or say, oh, this person needs to score, that person needs to score. It would be great to have everyone score on the team there, but ideally, I just love to see some good. I love to see them continue to do what they're doing, put the ball in the
Mm-hmm.
net, but then also play good defense as well. I
Yeah,
think
because I think defense is very needed.
mhm, exactly.
So let me ask you another question right now.
Yeah.
Um, there's this narrative going around, and it's not the Ghana national team; it's more Ghanaians in general.
hmm
Um, Again, this whole revenge thing against Uruguay and Luis Suarez. How do you feel about this? And do you feel that they should approach the game with revenge on their mind?
Honestly, whatever motivates the players at the end of the day, of course, the fans are going to be, talking about revenge and they're going to obviously want their get back, right? Like human nature, right? Everybody wants to get
Hmm.
their get back, right? Everybody wants to take care of and handle business and I mean, rewrite history and rewrite their wrongs, et cetera, or somebody who's done you dirty. You want to get back at them. But at the same time, though, let's just focus more. I think it's important for the Ghana national team to just play their game and just get the W, right? Not really get caught up in all the emotions. Let's be real, most of those guys weren't even on that team. There's only a couple guys on that team still. They're on that team now. So I get it, you know what I mean? I know it's important for the veteran players that were on that team. They'd love to see these guys do something and take care of business. And you know what though? Honestly, you know what countries it's been something that's when I think back, and I know I've been speaking right now, but when I think back, it's something that's been hovering over the country's head. So you know what, if the country's not happy about it, then go get your get back, man. This is your time right now. So go handle business and get rid of that. Get rid of this team. You see what I'm saying? And let's move forward and let's move past it. You see what I'm saying?
That being said, also, just to let the viewers know,
Mhm.
there's a documentary that has been released
Yeah.
on YouTube a couple days ago, and it's called The Ghanaian Luis Suarez. And I'm also a part of that documentary. And that documentary goes into a child born in Toronto to a Ghanaian mother and a Uruguayan father,
Mm.
and talking about the 2010 game and also the upcoming 2022 game. Basically, I was brought on hand to give a recollection of that game and just Ghana football. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you get a chance, make sure you check out that documentary. It's called The Ghanaian Luis Suarez. And I will also make sure to put the link within this video as we speak. Let's move on. That being said, also, when you look at the situation between Ghana and Uruguay, yes, there is that narrative of revenge, but just like El Selector said, I feel like Ghana should focus because the problem is when you're looking at revenge, you're not exactly focused. He also touched upon saying that the majority of players that played in that game are not even existent now. To be honest, virtually everybody that played that game is not on the team now. The captain by the name of Andre Ayew was actually at that game, but he did suffer an accumulation of cards the match before. So he didn't have the privilege of playing in that game versus Uruguay. But again, this game shouldn't be about um, revenge. I think it should be about focus, and it should be Ghana being focused, using Uruguay as a stepping stone to qualify for the next round. Because let's be brutally honest right now, Uruguay hasn't scored any goals in this World Cup. On top of that, Luis Suarez is at the twilight end of his career. Right now, he plays for Nacional in Uruguay, so that clearly, obviously, tells you that he's done. So for Ghana to go in there and make this about Luis Suarez, please don't do that. Go in and play your game, get your 3 points, and get the hell out of there. Just like El Selector said. Because remember, football has changed. Y'all have the firepower. Yes, Luis Suarez can say what he wants, but let's not make it a narrative about Luis Suarez. Let's be honest. We know the coach is going to start him. Ghana, just consistently play your game, tighten the defense, because we all know y'all's defense is too leaky. All I'm saying is the back four, you guys really got to get it together. Tariq Lamptey, Gideon Mensah, Daniel Amarte, Mohamed Salisu. Y'all guys need to get tight. And Loris Hatizigi, you really, really need to command that back line because we need you in this game. On top of that, what I will definitely say is the striker Inaki Williams that we just recently got to switch over. He's not scoring, but the Ghana national team is still winning. What would you say about Inaki Williams not scoring, and do you believe he can possibly get a goal against Uruguay tomorrow?
Honestly, the fact that he's not scoring is of course, I mean, if of course you want to build that, get that ball in the net and build up your confidence. But I think the most important thing, like I said prior, is just players just playing their position, not
Hmm.
really getting caught up in individual stats, but getting caught up in actually just winning the game and
Good point.
continuing to succeed. Because at the end of the day, when you win, that's all that matters. Let me tell you something. Individual stats is all cool and everything, but at the same time, when you win, you're glorified and you live on forever. You're immortalized. So that's the most important thing, especially in this tournament right here. They have an opportunity to do something special and win this tournament. And if they could win this tournament, then the reality is, then they will be immortalized. You see what I'm saying? They'll go down in
Hmm.
history, and even when they're gone, people will still be talking about them. So the scoring is cool, but at the same time, it's most important just everyone playing their game and playing within the system.
I totally agree. That being said, also Ghana's coach, who also doubles as a trainer scout at Borussia Dortmund, also trained Eric Haaland, who's at Manchester City. Are you also aware that he has played for Ghana at the 2006 World Cup as an attacking midfielder?
Yeah, I do. Well, I don't recall, but I do kind of recall. So it kind of like,
Hmm.
it's like vaguely remember, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it's dope though. It's great to see that, that you know what I mean, he's able to get this opportunity.
Hmm.
And if he can do something special with this team, I think that'd be great for the country. Regardless of everything else going on behind the scenes, I think the most important thing is just us getting out there and getting that victory.
Hmm. That being said, also, in terms of a little bit of facts and all that stuff, do you know? Do you know that there's actually two guys on the squad for the Ghana national team that play in the Ghana Premier League? One, his name is Donlad Ibrahim Donlad, who plays for Ghana Premier League team Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and also there's Afriye Banye. I want to even put some more info on Afriye Banye, but just to let you know, Afriye Banye plays for Hearts of Oak, and the Hearts of Oak, I believe, won the Ghana Premier League 2 years ago. And on top of that, because of the whole situation of how the FIFA World Cup is situated in November, December, FIFA has decided that they will pay every club $10,000 per day while their player is at the World Cup. Let's talk about how important that is for Ghana national team, Ghana clubs in the Ghana clubs in Ghana, simply because the players are not getting paid enough. How do you feel hearing that at least clubs like Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Hearts of Oak having players within the Ghana national team setup and they will be paid $10,000 per the time that these boys will be in Qatar?
Yo, honestly, I think first and foremost, if they're paying, are they paying the clubs $10,000?
Yes, $10,000 a day per for their players.
That's it's. I think honestly, I don't really look at the
But
money aspect.
From the Ghana standpoint, I'm not
I,
talking about those
uh,
rich European teams.
yeah, for the as far as the money aspect goes, I'm not really looking too much into it, just because the fact that $10,000 in today's world is like, for these clubs, is like literally like the equivalent of finding a penny on the ground. You see what I'm saying? It's
Nah,
like,
but we're talking Ghana clubs. I'm talking Ghana
uh,
Premier League clubs.
but like I said, $10,000, in the grand scheme of everything, it's not really going to change their league. You get what I'm saying? Let's be real. If they were giving them $1 million every game, then that could be a different story, right? That can trickle down to a lot of the players, and we have to be objective. We have to keep it 100, right? I always say keep it a buck, right? How many of these players are actually going to see the 10,000?
Remember,
You know what
it's
I mean?
not
How
for
many?
the players;
Yeah,
it's for the clubs.
yeah, but the clubs, what, like, you know how Ghanaian people are when it comes to money, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna. If we have to go there, we're gonna go there. Like,
But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
at the end of the day, you also got to look at these players are getting bonuses and stuff. And the only reason why FIFA is giving this money to these clubs is because of their clubs, the players being absent from the club for that time.
Yeah, yeah. I think honestly, as far as the implications for the players that are playing in the Ghana Premier League, I think the great part is the exposure they get in this World Cup. So the
Hmm.
fact that people get to recognize them, and the fact that they're auditioning, they're not just playing for the World Cup, but they're auditioning for countries all over the world,
That's
because
true
there are
because it's a huge
scouts.
showcase to get
Exactly.
new teams.
And there's scouts from everywhere, literally from every single league, every single, remember, and there's a million football clubs all around the world, right? So there's scouts everywhere watching, right? So this is a good time for you to showcase. Remember, the transfer wire is going to happen in January, right?
That is
So
true.
exactly. So a lot of guys, and remember, we're gonna also be, remember, January, and then also remember, when June, July hits, there's gonna be a lot of other movements going on. So a lot of guys could
Yeah,
use this opportunity here to like kind of build their name, or at least build some buzz and be able to like kind of get attention from clubs globally, internationally. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? We're based in the North American side of the world, and we know MLS is looking for guys left, right, and center. They're always recruiting, right? So
hmm
nowadays this thing is 365, 24/7, right? So
hmm
teams are forever going to be recruiting and looking for talent and acts and players, right? So this is a great opportunity for the Ghana Premier League. I think as far as the players over there, they can audition, they can show what they can do, and they're representing their league as well. So
that's
people
true.
from around the world can see them. I think that's the most important factor as far as the money goes, bro. You know what I mean? You know how it is with you know how it is with you know how it is, bro. I don't even need to say too much, but you know what I mean, bro. When it comes to money and these, you know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
speaking of which, I was talking about a striker by the name of Afriye Banye. Just to let you know, a Ghanaian actor by the name of Yao Double actually discovered this player and actually brought him up in his academy and brought him over to shop around to Ghana teams and eventually got picked up by Hearts of Oak. On top of that, the beautiful thing is that Yao Double has a soccer academy where he feeds his players for free. He clothes them for free. He even gives them housing for free just to make sure that these guys can get something. So I would definitely say salute to the Ghanaian actor who is doing very well to also make sure that with the little that he's been able to garner with football, because obviously he's done really well in movies and stuff, and for him to just take a chunk of that money and put it into football is amazing for Ghana going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Honestly, I think it's a great thing. It's just great overall.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That being said, as we continue this conversation, what is your match prediction in terms of scoreline for this match, and who do you think will win this match?
My prediction, I think Ghana will win the match. Maybe, I think they'll be able to win the match. Maybe 3-1. I
Ooh,
think they should be able
that's
to get rid of Uruguay. I think they'll be able to score at least 3 goals. I'm hoping. I don't want to jinx this team, but I'm hoping that something of that magnitude happens.
mhm.
Hmm.
What I'll definitely say is I'm looking for a score line of 2-1. There's been a lot of stupid narratives where people would like this game to be 1-1 to go into extra time and Ghana getting a penalty shot. Let's be brutally honest, I don't want it to go there. Win it early because um, history states that an African team has never ever beaten Uruguay. But let's be honest, that's your stats. It's what you can do on that day. And I think Ghana, as long as they work and do what they need to do and have a beautiful defensive setup, as in four in the back and possibly two defensive midfielders that will just literally sit ahead of the defenders, I think we'll have a very, very good time with Uruguay. What I'll definitely say is that we should retain Salis Ahmed, very underrated player in this tournament so far, doing very well in France. Salis Ahmed should be one of our defensive midfielders. Another person I'd probably possibly pair up with him is not Alidu Siedu because I feel like he's gonna be getting a lot of cards. I would say bring in Kofi Chire because he also has the ability to distribute the ball. In the midfield, I'll definitely say is have the connection between Thomas Partey and how do you say that Mohamed Kudus, and then we would need fast wingers just to kind of set the tone of the game. So what I will say probably is begin with a guy like, well, you know what? No, let me not say that. I think we should just go with a situation that will definitely help the Black Stars, as in being more defensive, reading the game, and then opening it up as we go. So I'll definitely have Jordan Ayew because Jordan Ayew did very well last match. Actually, surprisingly enough, Ghana scored 2 goals off set pieces the last time around. So, I would definitely have Jordan Ayew in there because of experience. I would definitely have Dede Ayew because, again, he's now the captain. The only change that I'd possibly make is to the strikers. I will take out Inaki and possibly stick in a free Banye and Antoine Semenyo. Reason why I'd say that is at least you're getting pace from left to right. And then maybe Thomas Partey can wake up in this game and do something. But that's my lineup, I would say, for the Ghana national team in this game going forward. It's going to be a topsy turvy affair, but I think Ghana will come out on top and they will qualify for the next round. Just to let you know, updates on the Ghana national team. They decided to relax today before the game because they've been doing a lot of recovery, doing a lot of training. Um, on top of that, too, there's no injuries to report. Everybody's healthy. Everybody is doing well. Yes, I think there is one injury. I need to get back information on that, but I believe the left back by the name of Gideon Mensah. So we got to check him out because I believe he was stretchered off in the game before. But I think Ghana has this if one man down, the next man up approach. Because another thing also too, L Selector, I was talking to you about this that Ghana actually has a deep bench for the first time in a long time. They got a really deep bench. They got guys like Salis Ahmed on the bench. They have a guy like Osman Bukhari. If you don't remember that name, that was the guy that decided to go do the Ronaldo celebration. We also have um, Yeah, why am I not even remembering them vividly? We have Ernest Sowa, or sorry, Kamal Sowa. We also have a flurry of talent. Kamaldeen Sulemana is one of them. As I said, Afriye Banye, Donlad Ibrahim, Manaf Nuruddin. I would prefer Nara and Manaf Nuruddin in that. Another thing also too is damn them Nima boys. Them Nima boys are doing big for the Ghana national team right now. Maybe you might not know Mohammed Kudus and Manaf Nuruddin are from an area in Ghana called Nima, and they're really representing this year. Really, really representing. Any more remarks on the Ghana national team today, by any chance?
No, actually, I'm just kind of ready, getting ready for. I really want to I'm looking forward to this game. So, um, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm just like excited, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully tomorrow we can actually do a post game reaction later that night. We won't be able, unfortunately, we will probably have to give it to you, international crowd, on the, if we do it, the international crowd will have to give it to you very early in the morning. So it
Mm-hmm.
probably be very early in the morning your time, but it'll be late nights ours. But definitely, I'm looking forward to the game. The game is very early for us, so But no, nothing else. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game, and yeah, just sit back and just what I mean,
Now,
enjoy.
my question to you is this:
Mhm.
Ghana starting off this game, do you think they should take the game to Uruguay, or should they have a more defensive mindset and go for the counterattack? How do you
Um,
feel?
honestly, I honestly think they should probably try, because yep, there's not that much time in this game. Like,
Hmm.
so you're gonna have to take the game and try to score and try to get up on the score count, because there's a lot of goals being scored in this World Cup, right? So you got to really put the ball in the back of the net, and that's the only way you're gonna win these games, right? Put the ball in the back of the net, play good defense, and then counter. You see what I'm saying? Ghana does a really good job of countering. They
Hmm.
do a really good job of facilitating and making sure that they find each other. So I think all Ghana probably has to do is just continue to play their game, but also be very aggressive and just to be on attack mode.
Yeah, and Ghana, on my side, I feel that we need to be very aware of the threat of Valverde in the midfield. Darren Nunes, the striker from Liverpool. As I told you, Luis Suarez is a non-factor, and Ghana should not let him be a factor because the fact of the matter is he's old right now. He's literally on his way out. This is his last World Cup. Um, who I'm also looking at in the setup is Edison Cavani, that striker. He doesn't score in leaps and bunches, but I think Ghana should be careful because if he gets a chance, he's probably going to try to put the ball in the back of the net. Overall, I say the weakest link on the Argentines, not even sorry, the Uruguayan squad is their left back and right back. If we can really, really, really penetrate the corners of Uruguay and do a lot of crosses, I think we could definitely bury Uruguay. Another thing also too is I think Ghana should not sit back in this game. If they want to start with a defensive setup, fine. But if you're gonna start with a defensive setup, open up as the game goes. Because the thing is, remember, favor and luck is on your side. You have 5 goals scored, Uruguay doesn't. So you're moving on. But the fact of the matter is that you gotta know going into this in your mind, a win is a win. You have to stop having such a leaky defense. Another thing also too that I'm calling out is that the coach as an Otto Addo needs to start making better substitution choices. Cause after the first game he's gotten better a little bit, but he needs to get better on those substitutions. Understand what your team needs and provide it for them. Because you could really make a bad substitution and it can throw off your team. And common sense also tells you as a coach, if you're going to make substitutions, make sure you make one substitution at a time and not two. Because what I've realized is um, When you're making substitutions, remember your players are coming in cold. So if you take off two guys at the same time, you could probably throw off um, what your squad is doing. Because for instance, when you look at Ghana's two games, they actually conceded goals in the span of 2 and 3 minutes, and we need to get better than that. Better, we need to get better at that because even Luis Suarez said because of that they're gonna exploit Ghana's defense because of that. So if somebody's telling you that, you got to make sure that you clamp down every chance and possible you get because if you do that, you will definitely be successful and you will qualify for the next round. My final thoughts, I definitely say is Ghana. You guys have done well at this World Cup. It's unfortunate what happened against Portugal. Go and play your game. Um, don't focus on the narrative. Focus on what's ahead of you. It's not about revenge. It's about total football. You guys got the first 45 minutes to shine, and then you got your second 45 minutes. Go in there, boss out the game. Understand that you guys are the Black Stars of Ghana. And just as Ghanaians would say, Masa, and yo, don't look down on yourself. Know that this is your moment to shine, and you will do well. Big shout out to the technical staff, as in Mas Udi Dramani, also Chris Houghton, and also the goalkeeper's coach, as in former Ghana national team keeper Richard Olele Kingston. Any final thoughts on selector?
I think you nailed it in a coffin there. Honestly, you pointed out some great important facts. Um, honestly, like you said before, let's just go out there, play the game, and play play the game that they know how to play, and go out there and just enjoy and take care of business and get ready for the next round.
That's true. Go Ghana, go Black Stars. We're definitely going to be back with the post match celebration. As we know, Ghana is going to beat Uruguay. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is number one blogger, and this is L Selector. You can find me on all social media just by hashtagging number one blogger. You can find me on the Facebook, facebook.com/Ghana National Team. L Selector, let them know where they can find you on the socials.
Yeah, you can find me on all social media platforms. And L Selector, you already know what it is. Definitely salute to my guy, number one blogger, for having me on the in that fold. And I'm looking forward tomorrow, and we'll hear from us later tomorrow. Okay.
All right, guys, that is it from here. The Ghana versus Uruguay preview. You know, Mohamed Kudus is definitely going to go in there. Thomas Partey, Jordan Ayew, Dede Ayew, everybody's going to go in there and do their part. And Naki Williams, you got to do what you got to do. Salisu, Tariq Lamte, Daniel Amarte, Gideon Mensah, we believe in y'all. Osman Bukhari, Kamaldeen Suleimana, Antoine Semenyo, yes, Nuruddin Manaf, Daniel Efriye Banye, Donlad Ibrahim. Guys, we believe in you. You guys will do well. This is number one blogger signing out and I'll select it. Take care, y'all.